So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to another interview of The Shield Doing a Couch. Today, I'm joined by Jon Davis, the vocalist and guitarist for the band Conan. And we're here because they're going to drop a new album this Friday, which I already heard, and it's called Evidence of Immortality. So, we're here to talk all about it. So, first of all, how are you, Jon?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Good.
Yeah, good. Having a lovely day.
Nice.
Good.
I know you're in the UK, so what time is it over
Yeah.
there?
The time it's exactly 7 p.m.
So, well, it's very bright, but yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it's bright here too, even at 7 p.m. So yeah,
Yeah.
so
The
I
sun is setting behind me, coming straight through the window, so
yeah,
seems like it's a nice spot.
nice. So I listened to the new album. It's six brand new songs, and I know that you guys have been around now like since 2013, 2014. So the new album is coming out August 19 via Napalm Records, Evidence of Immortality. So in this new album, is there like a running theme or a concept that goes out throughout the six tracks?
No, nothing really that runs throughout it. We get asked that a lot. I think I think people assume we do like concept albums because of our name, and we generally stick to the same kind of themes. But each song has got hidden meanings that I'm not. We don't want to talk about the real world, but we kind of interpret things that happen in the real world and turn them into the Conan universe. So every song has sort of meaning to us, but we don't broadcast that live. We want to make everything about sword and sorcery and mythology and that kind of thing. So that's how we want to color the songs. But there's no real theme that runs through the songs. No, we like to just go with something that sounds cool and then try and build up lyrics that rhyme around it. That's normally how it goes. But yeah, as you may be aware, a lot of our music deals with things like mythology and old cool movies that we like, and they're usually the catalyst for an idea or a riff or a line of lyrics, and then the song will build up around them. We don't write a whole song about a particular thing. It's just every now and again an idea will be the seed will be sown by something small in a book or a movie, and then I tend to just build the story up around it. So I mean, if anyone was to sort of interpret our music as being like storytelling, then it would be storytelling about stuff that's in my head. Nothing is about the real world.
Okay. Are they all like old movies that inspire you, or do you think there's some new movies that could inspire some music, or you prefer to stick with the classics?
It could be anything, we're not obsessed with certain types of movies. We're not like, like some bands will focus on horror movies or whatever. We're not trying to be that. But it's just sometimes there'll be a cool line or something but usually it'll be like sword and sorcery or mythology. Those kind of things I find most interesting. Or it's not always that, it can be other things. A lot of the lyrics on this album, I wrote them while I was reading about the war that's happening in Ukraine at the moment, and just as all that was starting, I wrote most of the lyrics at the same night. And then
wow.
we recorded all of the lyrics the next day with that as a backdrop. So that definitely influenced the mood of the album, but it's not about that. The album isn't about that war, but we sing around. We make songs about warfare and hope and anger and sadness and victory and defeat. They're the kind of subjects that we like to touch on broadly.
Yeah, no, the album, it's very doomy and sludgy, and it takes its time. So
Yeah.
I know that doom and sludge is usually like slower riffing. Is there any time that you're writing a song and you say, "Stop, guys, we're going too fast"?
No, the only time is when we maybe we're just jamming and we're pretending, but I'll just stop. But every now and again we do write faster stuff. Like we had Pain Cantation on our last album, which was like a 40-second grindcore song, and we got a few riffs on this album which are a little bit more up tempo. So yeah, we
Yeah.
do generally on this album in particular, I prefer to write like slower, more drawn out kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, we're not afraid to play faster.
No,
faster.
no, actually, there's a song on this album, the shortest song on this album. I think it's the one that's 3 minutes, the third one. I think
Yeah,
that's the more faster, like it's not thrash metal fast, but it's the fastest song
yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah,
record. The guitar, that's the song Ritual of Anonymity. That's the
yeah.
fastest song on the album.
Uh-huh.
But also you have on this album, like the last song, Grief Sequence, which is a 14.5 minute instrumental.
Yeah.
uh how was it reuniting with Dave Perry for that song?
It was great. Dave's a good friend of ours, and we see him from time to time when we get over to Denmark. And we came up with that idea for the song, and it became obvious that we didn't really feel like lyrics would work over it. So when we thought, well, how do we make this song something good and make it like a really good ending for the album? It was obvious that we would speak to Dave and have him put his skills on it. So, like you may be aware, Dave was in the band when we did the split with Slamatics, and we had a lot of synth on that album, and we wanted to bring some of that onto this album in this particular song. So yeah, it was great. I mean, I talk to Dave regularly anyway, but I just sent him a message and gave him the song and just said, do you want to make something cool with this? Bought him a day in the studio, and it was all sorted within a week or so.
Right. So does that song, besides having synths, I thought I heard like an organ that goes through it. Is that an organ or is that a synth?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't know what he put on there.
Well, it
he,
sounds like an organ because it's a song.
yeah,
It's something that I found about that song is that it sounds like I could picture myself watching an apocalyptic movie and that
uh-huh.
song would be playing in the background. It's
Yeah,
that
yeah,
feel like you're in Dune, you're in a desert.
yeah,
And like at the 10-minute mark, there's that crescendo where the synth or what I thought was an organ picks up and gets higher.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. He
in the
uses a lot. He used a lot of different instruments on there. If you listen closely as well, there is a little bit of his voice. He did some work with a vocoder very briefly in one passage, but he didn't
Yeah.
want to do too much of that. So yeah, but he uses synth and Moog synthesizer and all sorts of stuff on there. But I don't know much about those kind of things. So I literally just said to him, have some fun with this," and he did
Nice.
what he did.
Yeah, no, it's an ambitious album closer to close an album with an instrumental and being that bass, but I think it works with the all around mood of the album because the album it's very bleak, it's dark.
Yeah,
Even the title, Evidence of Immortality. So
yep.
I know that you picked Leviathan, Hoax, and Righteous Alliance as the singles. Why did you pick those two as the singles? I know they're I couldn't say they're short because they're like 8.5 minutes each, but why those songs in particular?
Well, we thought Levitation Hoax would grab the listener straight away. And it was the first single on the album because it was the most like it comes at you straight away. It's not a slow burner. And I think with it being our first album, first studio album for like 4 years, which is unusual for us because we've been releasing an album every 2 years, and obviously COVID ruined
Yeah.
that. But so releasing an album after 4 years, we wanted the first single to really just take people by surprise. So we put that one out, and it grabs people's attention. It's not too long, so it's perfect song for a video. And then after that, when we came to think about the next song, and we did Righteous Alliance, it was really a toss up between that and Equilibrium of Mankind, because my dogs are fighting. Sorry,
Oh
I
yeah.
like I like I like both I like both of those songs equally, and I thought either could work really. Well, we ended up going with Righteous Alliance just because it was sort of like the more aggressive of the two in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought they complemented it quite well, and they happened to be the two songs that we were playing live most. So we thought it would be the obvious choice to do videos for them as well.
Yeah, I know the album opener also is super long.
Yeah.
The clip had no longer plots, and it's really slow and sludgy. What's that song about?
Well, actually, it's not about anything. Um, there's no real true meaning to it, really. The song title, I just thought it was a cool name,
Oh yeah,
and
it's really catching. A clip had no longer plots. You listen to it, and you're like, interesting.
yeah, it's from I think I read that in a Viking story, Viking Eto or something like that, and I copied that line from there. I think one of my friends was telling me about some stuff, and I may have copied it from that conversation. But yeah, that song is all, if you we like the listener to sort of interpret the lyrics however they want to, a bit like Nirvana did. We didn't.
Yeah.
The songs kind of they have like a kind of a meaning to me, more so the song titles, but the lyrics themselves often start in one place and then go off in in another direction. And yeah, it's cool if the listener sort of listens to it and it allows them to go in that direction too. So I don't really like to pigeonhole it by saying what the song's about. Let the listener decide.
Yeah. No, yeah, but it's a great album opener, and the album closer. It's bold to start with a long song and
Yeah,
end also with a long song that's an instrumental. So
yeah.
when you are working on music, do you first record the music and then do the lyrics once you listen to them, or is it a combination of both?
On this album, yeah, pretty much. We had the music written and recorded by the end of 2021.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and we didn't really get any vocals done until February, March. Literally, whenever it was that the day the war started was the day that we we recorded vocals. And we recorded the vocals in one day. In most songs were done in 1 or 2 takes.
Oh wow.
And it was like super quick, very, very quick for us. It usually takes a lot longer than that, but I think we were just really in the mood for it. And we've been on tour as well, not only just a few weeks previous to that. We've been on a few shows, so the voice was warmed up a bit. So yeah, we the lyrics, so the vocals were recorded really easily,
So
which
yeah.
took me by surprise. Didn't expect it.
So basically you didn't overthink it. You just
Exactly.
you had that idea, you went with it, and the album sounds really has like that live sounding, like like when I listen to it, it sounds like you're there playing in front of me, like it has that raw feeling, as you mentioned. And I know that in your album covers you've been working since the Horseback Battle Hammer until this one with Tony Roberts.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you think he's the only artist that gets your vision of the band? Like, or would there be a time that you would use someone else for a cover, or will it always be him?
No, I wouldn't say that he's the only artist that gets our stuff. No, but we like continuity. So
Yeah.
we've been working with Tony since our first album, and very proud to do that. But there are, of course, other artists who also have great artwork. For example, Adrian Smith, who's one of the original Games Workshop artists who worked on Warhammer. We've been talking to him lately about having some stuff done. So we don't want to pigeonhole ourselves and just stick to one type of artist. We want to move, especially when it comes to having merch made and designs. And we wouldn't stick to just one artist. But Tony is a huge part of what we do, so we like to have him at the center of our imagery. We might bring other stuff in too. Who knows?
And it seems like he's get the aesthetics of the band since you've been working with him for so long. Like he probably already knows what you have in mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what do you do? Do you send him like the album title, and for him to like, okay, this is the album title, work with this, or do you send him some music too so he can get the feel?
Well, the more music we send him, the easier we make it for him.
I bet, yeah.
So, but of course, we can only send it to him after we've created it. So sometimes we try and send him demos early on, and he gets a feel for the album then. And yeah, we've worked with each other so much on every album up to now that we know what each other's sort of style of work is, and we work really well together. So
Yeah.
long may that continue.
Yeah. So on that discussion, I want to show the album artwork for this album. So this is the album artwork for the new Conan album that comes out this Friday. I love this artwork. Like, what were you trying to come? Do you know what you wanted him to convey in this album artwork?
That we didn't really ask him to convey anything, to be honest. We asked him just to listen to the music and put out there what he thought would work best. But I think what we're looking at here is the sort of the death of of our Sentinel. You know, the guy who's on all of our album covers. He's definitely he's dead or dying in this photograph. Not photograph in this
in the
picture.
painting, yeah.
So who knows if he'll make it back for the next album cover. Might have to do something different, or maybe when you look at the inner cover, you can look at sort of like a Valhalla kind of scene. Maybe that is him entering Valhalla, or his version of it.
Yeah, and I like the use of the gray colors with the red, especially the Conan logo with the dripping blood. You know, it looks really awesome. You know, and it really does convey the mood, the sludginess, and doom sound of this record. So I think Tony captured the essence of this album with the artwork. I think it's so important, you know, to have artwork that represents the music, because when you look at that album artwork, you know what you're going to, at least I have a clear idea of what the music should or will sound like based on the album cover.
Totally. I agree. Totally.
Yeah.
So we and people who don't know us will get an idea of what we sound like by looking at the album cover. I think that's important.
Yeah. No, all your album covers are pretty great. This is one of the most green covers of the ones that you had, because you know it has the warrior impaled with the spears and the blood. But yeah, I think it's a great album cover. So John, you mentioned obviously that you are a fan of movies. Like, what would you say would be your top 3 movies of all time, and why?
Top 3 movies of all time. Okay. Fire and Ice. It's the first time I'd seen Ralph Bakshi rotoscope type of movie making, and that just really grabbed me. As I love watching that movie because the fight scenes in it are just so cool. I would say the original animated Lord of the Rings.
Oh, nice.
Which again is Ralph Bakshi, and I love how dark that is. I love how cool the all the characters are, especially the evil ones. And that movie's just so cool, and that was like a really big inspiration for Conan. Other movies, maybe Conquest by Lucio Fulci, and that's another sword and sorcery movie, and actually inspired the song Total Conquest. And it's a sword and sorcery movie along the same lines as Beastmaster or Krull or Conan, but it's just got this really dark, sinister edge to it. It's like Conan, but not for kids. And I really like how grim it is. You know, there's one scene where these like wolfmen pull a woman in half.
Oh wow!
And you get to watch this woman die, and they just pull her legs apart, and so she splits all the way from her groin up to her neck. It's just like a really gory way to kill someone. And of course, he's quite famous, isn't he, for his horror movies? And he's brought some of that into this sort of sword and sorcery thing. So it's that movie is grim. But yeah, I would say they're my top three right now.
Nice. Yeah, no, those are, yeah, it goes with the music that obviously you play. So the album is dropping this Friday. What's coming next for Conan? Are there some tours on the way?
Yeah, but today we've just announced a tour in Canada, late October. In a couple of weeks, we're going to Brazil. We're going to play in Sao Paulo just as a one-off festival.
Is that the
Um,
Rock in Rio or another one?
no, it's Black September, I think it's called. September
Oh,
Negro.
nice.
So we're playing that, and we've got a handful of other festivals. Looking at maybe coming to the US next year. So we do have quite a lot coming through now. But yeah, we're just going to enjoy now being able to play some shows because we've not been able to for quite a while, have we? So we'll get on the road, play some shows, and then start planning some more stuff next year.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. And so people can pre-order the album from Napalm Records, or they can pre-order
Yeah,
other. Okay,
you can get it from Napalm, but we've got a like a glow in the dark variant of the vinyl,
oh, nice.
which is which only we are selling, and people can get that if they go to our link tree. We've got a link tree
Okay.
page, link
Yeah, I'll put
tree.
the comment so people can get that one. Yeah,
Okay.
that one sounds cool, like a
Yeah.
glow in the dark variant. How many copies were they made of that one?
300.
300. So it's a limited edition. So
Yeah,
obviously
yeah. We
anyone
sent
that has it.
100. We got 100 coming here to England, and then or the UK, and then we got 200 going to our distributors in Amsterdam. So they'll be posting out everyone else's order, whereas the orders that have come just for the UK are going to be shipped out by us personally.
Nice. No, awesome. And I enjoyed the album. It's an album that definitely you have to sit down, listen to it. It takes its time, but it has that doom sludge to it. And like I said, the last song, it really cinematic, really feels like a score to a movie.
Yeah,
And
I
how
think
that
so
feels
too.
like. Yeah.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, John, again, I want to thank you for taking some time to talk with me.
You're
And
welcome.
anyone, pre-order the album Evidence of Immortality. It's coming out this Friday. I'm going to also review the album for the channel. So I'll do an album review and also this interview so people can get more into the album. So, John, again, thank you
Thank you.
for taking some time to talk with me. And
You're welcome.
everyone, go and listen to Conan. So until next time, this is Hector, the Shield doing a couch, and I'll see you right here on the couch. Thank you and good night.